Coming to you live from the Biscuit Bakery, this is Wicker Biscuit. Boy, have we got a good biscuit for you this week, you lucky devils. Tonight's topic, we are talking about child/parent embarrassing stories. So it can be any story between you and a child, you and your parent, or your child and your parent, any mix, we don't care. So that's going to be the fun topic for tonight. And I'll get things started off. Ooh. Mine is a good one.
Go Gary.
It could have been put in the church topic one, but I think it fits better here. So we're going to go back to when Seth was doing his first communion catechism classes. There was a big thing we had to do where we had to go around and do all these different stations. And one station was these Bible stories, and I had to read the stories with Seth. So we're not like in our own little place. I mean, there's lots of other parents around. I'm setting the vibe so you guys get. There's lots of people around. They can hear what we're saying. We hear what they're saying. It's chatting. It's not a quiet thing. It's a big conversation. But Seth and I are at the station where we're reading the Bible verses. So there's one about in the beginning, God created earth and all this other stuff. And we're supposed to read and say, we're supposed to personalize it, what it means to us, and then talk about what it's going to be for communion. So I don't really get the significance now, but there was significance, they tell me. So I'm reading this to Seth, and I'm going to pause right now and let you know, for all those who don't know, I watch a lot of documentaries. One of my favorite things is space documentaries. So I always have science-based documentaries on. So Seth has been seeing them his entire life. Fast forward to now, Seth turns to me and very loud so everyone can hear it. Dad, that didn't happen. I don't like the church lying to children. God did not create the earth. The earth was made by this collision in space where this planet crashed into this one. And he gave the whole story, and it was perfect to how it, happened. Sorry out there, but that's how it happened. And parents start looking, and I'm just like, shh, quiet, blasphemous child.
He's adopted.
We don't talk about that here. And he's like, no, Dad, that's not cool. That's not cool for the church to lie to kids like that. And I'm like, yeah, I feel the same way, but shut the fuck up, man. They're going to get on to us.
They're going to burn us at the stake.
So as I'm blushing, he's like, what's your problem? And I'm like, no, I agree with it. It's so difficult to be like, kid, I agree with you, but we can't say that here because there's people that don't agree like you and me where, well, that's a nice metaphor for how it was made. They're like, this is literal, bitch. And it's like, well, that's not how I feel. But yeah, so that was my story of my blasphemous kid and then me trying to be like, shh, quit it. Shh. But
be cool.
All in all, the thing went well. And as far as I know, there weren't any parents that were ready to burn us at the stake. But when science and religion collide, silly things happen.
Indeed.
So yeah, we're blasphemous heretics. On that note, who else would like to share?
I would like my childhood. I think about how great it was, and I don't know that I can think of funny things like way back at all. I mean, I knew that I said funny things when I was a kid because everyone does consonants and stuff. Instead of yellow, I said yellow, and instead of fire truck, I call it a fire fuck.
You called it a fire fuck?
Yeah,
he still does.
Nice.
Well, and then if you remember when we were kids too, the tow trucks still had hooks on them.
Sure.
I one time was downtown Racine and I was like, look, Dad, a hooker.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, downtown Racine, it's...
Well, chances are, and my dad swung around. So, I mean, of course he was like, I want to see, But, I just had one of those great, I don't know. It was just, I was an only child. It was me, Mom and Dad. And my dad gotten sick and passed away when I was 12. So it was just Mom and me. And I think it's one of those things. Mom was working multiple jobs. That was a stressful couple of years of her life. And I think I was trying to find, my way as an adolescent into teen years. And I remember when I was a kid, we'd gone over to this older woman's house in Bessemer, Michigan, where my dad graduated high school. And she kept talking about her son, Jimmy. Looking back, I don't know if Jimmy was alive, if he was dead, if he didn't visit. I never got the grasp of it. But I remember her pulling out 5 full photo albums of her son. And I also think back, my dad liked the movie Psycho. And so I think as an only child of a widowed or single mom, I think you always have this like fear that like mom and I are going to be too close for some reason. So
Did you
like,
ever start calling her mother? No.
right? Well, I do now, or I call her that woman. But you know, I think it's just weird because you start rebelling a little bit because you want to push against that so much. I think those things are so like formative to me. So I seriously was thinking about when we were thinking about this topic, we had what my friends called Taco Bell fights. Like it's ridiculous. So like,
that's intriguing.
I want to hear what you have to say, but I'm picturing something like really nasty. Like you'd all eat Taco Bell and the first one at the other.
I think it's funny because my mom never ate Taco Bell. She didn't really like Taco Bell. But I think there's like this, you know, when you're a kid and you're like supposed to clean your room, or there's just imbalanced expectations between the child and the adult, like what's going to happen, what, you know. So my friends would come over, and for some reason, just mom and I were like, just would yell at each other, like just yell. Like I don't even know what we were fighting about. I can't even think. And then my classic move was always to go down the hallway and slam my bedroom door, which we're pretty much all familiar with that. And then it'd be about 20 minutes later, my mom would peek open the door a little bit and go, "You guys want Taco Bell?" So my friends, after a while, were like, "Carl, you need to get in a fight with your mom."
We need some Taco Bell.
And I'm like,
Right?
I don't think, like, it's just so weird to me. And it's funny because I love Taco Bell, and I don't think my mom knows how much that like influenced me, that like Taco Bell is a weird comfort. Like when I get stressed out at work, Taco Bell day. Like
Nacho cheese heels.
I literally call it my T-Bell therapy. Like it is, and it's still not that good.
It's very interesting to know that association because I know the other side of it. I've known like, you know, T-Bell is what it means to you, but I didn't know the connection.
That's it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love little peeks behind the curtain, we call them.
Can you eat it without slamming a door prior?
Oh, I don't slam doors.
Or is that part of it?
I'm not gonna lie, the doors at our house wouldn't slam very well. They're pretty light, so it just kind of go.
But do you want to go with one?
Oh yeah. So you know when you're little and you get excited to make the adults laugh.
Yes.
So I had
I was that kid.
I had a moment of that. My cousins and my mom and I went to see the movie Made in America. And there's a part where Ted Danson says about the daughter that he shares with Whoopi Goldberg that he just found out about. He's like, "Oh, it must suck to be half black." And she goes, "You know what? Fuck you." And he says, "Well, apparently we already did that." And my cousins and I could not stop laughing. We laughed so hard that my mom was like, "We're going to leave if you don't stop laughing." But it was like, I was like 7 and they were like 10 and 11. So it's just like, so we get home and we're telling Grandma about the movie, and I'm like, "Oh, mom, can I tell her that part?" And Mom's like, "Yes." And I'm all excited thinking I'm going to say this and Grandma's going to laugh. And I go, "Oh," and then she's like, "Well, fuck you." And they both go, "Hey, no, what? You can't." And I'm like, "But." So that it was like you get like the ramp up of like, it's going to be hilarious. And then it was like, I was met with like scolding and anger, and I started crying because I was so like.
No, I totally get you. That shit got me all the time. It's like where you thought there was a joke that was just going to kill and it didn't land, and then it even came back and bit you in the ass, and you're like, it cuts you deep.
Wasn't supposed to go this way.
You were supposed to laugh, and instead I got scolded.
It was kind of saved in later years with Grandma Violet because
when Grandma got old, she said fuck a couple of times.
Oh, sure.
Not like in her everyday, but like I had an aunt who got mad at her kid about something, and like after doing them a big favor, and she was telling Grandma this, so then Grandma was telling the story at like this family gathering, and she just said, "Well, fuck those kids." And we're like, "Oh my god, Grandma just said fuck."
Or like if you said something off color or like weird or disturbing or something, she would just kind of make this like face.
That wasn't just new. That was always. That was my whole life.
Yeah, it was.
She always did that.
Was
it was like this, like, I'm smiling, but I disapprove, but it's pretty funny.
That's good stuff. Fun side note, when you first said Made in America, for some reason my brain thought Made in Manhattan. Like I thought of
I did the same thing.
And then you said
Ted Danson.
I'm like, what the fuck? Hold on, brain. I gotta reprocess this shit. And then I reprocessed and I'm like, I'm with you now.
Wait, what is that movie with Eddie Murphy, Coming to America? So first
That's
I
what I
went
was
Made in
thinking
Manhattan, and
Yeah.
then I went Coming to America, and then I got to that movie.
That's a fun journey.
3 decades right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how my brain works.
We could watch all 3 of those movies together.
We should.
I love.
That'll be.
I don't own Made in Manhattan, but I'm sure we can get it easily.
Yes.
But I do own the other 2.
I love that one time I was just like fucking with my mom and I was telling her that there was a sequel called Butler in the Bronx. And for a while I had her going.
We need to make that movie.
At least the trailer.
Right.
Be a film project. Just put it on, screen it for her.
Yeah. I was proud of that one.
Hey, Court, what you got for us?
Oh, yeah. What you
You know,
got?
I am blessed to have. I had a wonderful childhood as well. Like, it was awesome, but I think we all had just, you could see through to like the simple, just most ridiculous moments of your life and find it just fucking hilarious. And, when we came up with this idea, it was like, oh yeah, I can think of 4 easily. Oh, well, now I have 12. But like
if it runs over, we'll do another episode. It's okay.
And I love my childhood for it being so freaking hilarious. And I think I've mentioned a few times, my mom she was so tight with money and I mean, just so cheap, beyond cheap. And not because she had to be, but she was just so thrifty all the time. And part of me, for those that I think may have heard this story before, but, I was I was a senior in high school and I was going to prom. And that's who I went with the married man to prom with. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting.
Did you know he was married at the time, though?
He was supposed to be separated.
Okay, so you were under the impression that he was separated.
I do believe at that time frame, yes.
Okay, so Courtney's not the whore.
Red
He
flag.
is.
Homewrecker.
He's the whore, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, at least my little
What?
innocent Courtney.
What?
He called you a homewrecker.
No, the home was actually already wrecked.
Right.
Anyways.
She just picked up some of the pieces.
You know what? It was a big piece. Remember the Anyways. So I'm so excited. Like, I'm going to prom and we just first met and it was like a surprise to my friends because they didn't realize I had a boyfriend yet. And it was just going to be just this magical moment. And I'm like I'm waiting outside, sitting outside, and he pulls up into the driveway and
What kind of vehicle did he have?
Huh?
What kind of vehicle was this?
It was the Oldsmobile.
Nice.
Like classic?
Sierra.
Oh.
Cutlass Sierra.
That's what your dad used to drive.
Yes, we had matching cars.
Oh,
Nice.
let's
His was
unwrap that
great.
later.
Right? So
Did he
pulls
have the
in.
navigation bubble where it was that bubble that sat on the dash where it would always...
Oh,
it would point-
nonsense.
it was like a
That
little
did not
compass?
come with the car.
Oh, I
It
know.
was a specific sticky that you had to buy.
Right.
There was no navigation.
No, he didn't have that.
And
He
you can
didn't
take
go
that
to...
thing off. It would
No.
rip the dash.
Yeah. Oh, it was terrible.
But didn't every... Okay, I'm going off topic, but didn't every
Maybe.
vehicle, your dad, every one of his cars didn't have one of those?
Most likely,
Yeah.
yeah, he wanted to know where he was
You
going.
should have just put it in your boyfriend's car.
Shoulda.
You
Shoulda. Mm-hmm.
Continue. I'm sorry.
But no. So he gets to the house and I meet him at the side of the road. That sounded like I was trashy. There's a lot of trash involved in the story, but
No, I think we have a couple rural, childhoods here, so you're okay. I
Okay.
mean, I was a city kid. So,
okay. Well,
I mean, I get picked up on the corner. I mean, that probably has the same.
well, but so I welcome him inside. I walk in and there's my mother. She opens up the bathroom door and she's holding a toilet seat. Just a freaking toilet
Like
seat.
a whole, round toilet seat.
The round toilet
Like,
seat.
had she been helping you get
Like the
ready
lid or
for
like the actual
prom?
seat?
Was she helping you?
That wasn't my mom. That was more like my dad
yeah.
was probably more of the I don't know.
nurturer
Yeah.
slash-
He's a sweet, sweet man.
My dad. I'm such a daddy's girl.
Okay.
But anyways, so my mom
Was off
exits
doing
the
her own thing,
bathroom
obviously.
with a cracked toilet seat, and she
cracked?
looks at my boyfriend and says, "Hey, do you know how to put a new one of these on?" And she proceeds to tell him that every time she sits down on the toilet, the crack would pinch her ass. And he was mortified. I was mortified. It was very, very embarrassing.
Is he like in a tux?
No, not at that point yet.
Okay.
But it only got worse because then as we rounded the kitchen, the kind of the hallway from the kitchen to the bathroom into the dining room. Well, my mom, she was so frugal, she never wanted to use a dryer, which is fine, but she would use every doorway and as a place to hang like your clothing. And she'd have these big like clothes racks that like, you know, folded up together and folded apart. And they're all folded out in the dining room, the freaking dining room. And there's my dad's underwear, my underwear, and not like the good underwear, but like it was the whole family's.
The ones that you don't show people.
No,
Correct.
I'd never show. So that was my prom.
It's magical.
And he still went with you, so
Yeah.
That's quite the pre-prom.
Was that just how your mom rolled, or do you think
Oh,
it could have been
yeah.
a tactic
was-
because, like, oh, I don't like this
No,
guy.
that was
I'm gonna.
seriously my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just Saturday night.
Very good.
And during the summer, she would take it up a notch and she would move the clothes outdoors, out on the back deck, and occasionally the family's underwear would fly into the neighbor's yard. And the neighbor would knock on the door with like your underwear and be like, do these belong to you? Well, of course they did. I mean,
They had your name on it.
Right. But yeah,
Stray underwear.
all over the neighborhood. And we lived in a really close neighborhood, like out on the lake. So like the clothes literally, but the houses were like just like, you know, feet apart.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
It's pinching my ass.
Was the prom at least magical?
It's pinching my ass.
Yeah, was the prom good? I mean,
no, apparently not.
No.
Your friends were not impressed, and
They were surprised, but you know, when it's a married guy, it kind of takes the moment of it being cool away. And I also have to say, like, just certain things kind of like stick in my brain. And the one thing that I just did not agree with is we went out to a fancy supper club and he ordered fish. Like, why would you order fish? Like, I just feel like
Was it Friday night fish fry?
No, it was a Saturday. But who wants to smell like fish all day?
Exactly. I was going to say that. And if any opportunity where you're going to be kissing, there's certain foods you have to
And
avoid.
it wasn't like fried fish. Like, it was like, I'll have the rancid tilapia. Like,
I think most tilapia is rancid.
yeah.
That was bold right on the menu, calling it out rancid tilapia.
We tried it one. Well, I had it a few times, but one of the times we had it, it tasted like mud.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And someone's like, "Oh, a lot of times it tastes like that." I'm like, then I'm not gonna make that anymore,
Yeah.
just in case.
Like, I didn't think they were really like a bottom feeder, but I mean, price range wise,
Which was his nickname, by the way.
His nickname was Bottom Feeder?
That's what his friends called him, was bottom feeder. I didn't really quite
Did
understand
you know that
it.
before or after prom?
Well, I was naive. I didn't know what
She
that
thought
really
she was
meant.
gonna get her ass eaten.
No, I was like, oh, he's like a fish. Like, I didn't get it.
wow.
You and me are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah. And every
like,
time
oh,
I'd
that's
ask him a
fun.
question, he'd look at me and go, "Twat?" And I'm like, why does he talk like that? Like, I didn't know what that meant. So I'm
That's how I
like, does
talked
he
in
have
middle
a
school.
speech impediment?
Mhm.
I didn't know. Twat?
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Wow, he was winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long before the toilet seat got fixed?
He did not dive in and help my mother out. He did not care about her ass cheeks getting pinched. But
Red flag.
Yeah. Red flag.
yeah, yeah. My husband currently, he would have been like, yeah, let me check into this.
No shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd fix your mom's toilet seat.
Carl, one time we got all gussied up to go out with some friends, and then our toilet got plugged. So Carl's like standing in his nice dress clothes, plunging in the toilet.
Oh, that's what I love about you.
Very romantic.
That was when we used to, like, one of the broken ice buckets from work.
Mm.
That was what we used for our garbage can in that bathroom.
Great use, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We were like college kids, bachelors living together for a very long time.
You know what I really want? I want to hear Tiffany's stories.
I struggled with this one, but I think the Taco Bell fights inspired me a little. So Courtney and I both grew up north a little bit, and
Yeah.
so a small town. And the only thing to really do as a small town kid is to play sports or be involved in that way, FFA,
I never
4-H or
played
something.
any sports.
It's because you're too busy picking up married men. I mean, a sport
was a
in its
sport.
own right, yes.
How are you supposed to run if toilet seats are pinching asses?
It's a demanding situation. But
I did have a deep desire to be like popular and liked. So playing sports was the option. And I liked being active, and it kept me out of the house. Anyway, you were able to start basketball and softball early, like I think 4th grade, maybe 5th grade. Those are the two earliest sports. And it was convenient in a small town because you could just stay after school and do the thing. So it wasn't like your parents had to bring you and pick you up and drop you off with some nonsense like that. Anyway, so I liked basketball. I'm pretty tall.
Mm-hmm.
We were terrible. Like really bad, you guys. I'm talking all the way through 4th grade to my graduation. Not good at basketball. Nobody. And not that there weren't a couple people who were good or that we couldn't ever win a game, but like just overarchingly not great.
I will say, like with small towns, it doesn't matter if you're good or not. You're still playing because
There's no one
you have
else.
just enough kids to make a team, so it doesn't matter.
So my mom can do that thing where she puts her fingers in her mouth and whistles
the whistle
like
thing.
extremely loud.
Oh my God! Yes.
For the record, everyone, I hate like whistling. Bothers me. I don't know why. It's a weird
that's
sound.
fine.
So
like,
sorry about
it's a
the-
very sharp. Yeah,
That's
I
why
know.
we're
Big
really
apology.
glad
yeah.
I picked the theme song.
Yeah.
The theme
right.
song is whistling.
When I heard it, I thought, well, at least I'll be participating and not having to hear that.
It's true.
So
Did she like really get into it? Like
She
get up in the
would.
stands and like
it was so loud and it was so embarrassing to me. Plus, we're not good. Right? Like we're just really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like rarely won. We gave it our good shot, right? Like we were a good team together and I had fun. It's not like I didn't have fun. I really enjoyed it, but like she was just really, and it was so embarrassing to me. But now as an adult, like when I have my mom at my kids' sporting events, I'm like, do the thing. So like this like embarrassing kind of little memory for me has kind of turned into this like I will never forget that my mom did that at my sporting events,
no,
even
the
if
kiddos
we
won't
were
like
if we were
grandma
not good.
is doing it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So that was
That
really-
reminds me of when you told that if she got a hat trick, she'd get a big bag of Skittles. And like when she was close to doing it, you like pressed the Skittles bag against the plastic, like, look what I got for you.
Yeah, my husband's not a fan of that when I did that. Just straight up not
Why
fan
not?
of bribery.
That's
I
encouragement. That's not
kind
bribery.
of get it. I do kind of get it from his perspective, but it worked.
Well, next time I see him, I'll have
it
words
literally-
with him.
Yeah.
She is almost an adult, and I guarantee that would still probably work.
You know, like our opening
Skittles are
talking
still
about
good.
hygiene. Did you like save some of the Skittles and hold some back before like they took a shower? Because like being in that lobby after a hockey match,
Oh, they are so smelly.
disgusting.
Yeah, no. If we've got practice after school, the gear sits in my car all day.
Oh my God!
So like every time I open my car door after school, it's just like locker room in the face. It's really bad.
Oh dear.
That's okay. And it smells like they're working hard, I guess. I don't. It is what it is, and it's not cool to wash it. So
It's not?
no, not cool to wash it. I don't know if it's like a badge of honor or
Superstitious.
superstition or.
I bet it's superstition.
I really don't. It's bad though. It's like
What's-
it's like
Like even a rational person.
What's the difference between a hockey player and a hippie chick?
uh,
A hockey player will shower after 3 periods.
Oh God!
Nice.
good one.
Mm.
I didn't make it up.
I'm so glad you brought. I'm really glad it was the Taco Bell that inspired
Taco
you?
Bell fights, yeah.
Taco Bell
Aw.
fights. It brought it up.
Right? And that was embarrassing, but
Yeah.
it's really
My
a fond memory of
mom
mine now.
will also do that whistle, and it is
How do
deafening.
they do it?
I don't know. I never could do
have
it.
Tried
I never
could
every
do it.
which way. Like I've tried with the fingers and the pinkies and I've tried with the I can't do it.
I mean, I would never do it around Carl, just out of respect. But I do want to know how to do it. I don't even know what scenario
There's
I
so
need
many
that
rules.
in life. I just feel like I
Don't
need to know how
whistle
to do
around,
it.
around Carl. Don't eat pickles around Amanda. It's just so difficult.
Wait, we can't eat pickles around Amanda?
That's
Never.
correct. Amanda is so disgusted by pickles. Just the smell of them in the room will set her off. I can't have pickles in this house, and I love pickles.
Just so you know, the Glacier Lake Foods in Cameron, Wisconsin. They have 5-gallon buckets of pickle spears for $12 right now.
Do you know
Well, if they ever want to advertise on the pod,
If we ever need yeah.
oh, we're gonna open this up to sponsors someday.
I have to tell you that I put 2 separate jars of pickles in my school fridge in my classroom less than a month ago.
No, I applaud that.
They're gone.
I love pickles. Okay, really crazy thing that we had as kids, and this was like a normal thing for like my mom's side of the family. They would make peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. Have you ever tried that
Yeah, it's not
combination?
bad.
It's not bad.
I love it. Yeah, my dad thinks it's disgusting. My dad likes pickles otherwise, but not with the peanut butter.
I wouldn't say that's something I'm going to go out and make. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm really craving a peanut butter.
Every once in a while
and
I
pickle
do.
sandwich, but it's not a bad combination.
And there was one time when I was doing like a keto thing, and I just cut up pickles and put it in peanut butter with a bowl, and I'm like, keto pickle sandwich. Oh my! It was a low moment for me, but
I used to do that with like keto, like low. It was low carb that I was doing, but similar-ish. No.
well, I called it keto, but that's just because everybody else called it. Like I wasn't technically following like a keto book.
Yeah, I would make hamburger.
It's just
dishes
more
like that.
trendy. And if you say Atkins, people would be like, "Oh, that's terrible for you." It's like, really, it's all fucking bad. But
I was a big fan of making just mayonnaise sandwiches.
oh yeah,
I
Just
grew up.
2 pieces of white bread and put some Miracle Whip in the middle and just eat it.
Okay,
That was a
so
snack.
I added mustard.
mom
It
do
was
that?
mayonnaise and mustard sandwiches for
We
me.
couldn't afford Miracle Whip.
Not even with coupons.
I used to
Double coupon day was a big thing in my house.
Mhm.
I used to take toast and then put on Philadelphia cream cheese and then sprinkle on Bacos. And then one time when Hannah Wallace was over, that's right, we're name dropping Hannah Wallace.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
It's not,
on her.
not her name anymore.
Yeah, I know.
name anymore.
She got married this weekend. Yeah, it's the wedding we were at.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
she was Wallace then. She loved it, and then she would come over and make them all the time. And I was like, I'm glad that caught on.
I can't do Bacos.
Are those like bacon bit
Yeah.
things?
Yeah, but they're
Bacos?
the
Dried and
they're like really artificial, really processed.
Oh, those are
But they taste. I always think they, as a kid, but also as an adult, I had this thing where it's like if a food had the texture or whatever of something that you wouldn't eat, it made me like to eat it. Like Bacos or like eating chunks of eraser. It's like
I was wondering if that was the kind that had like the texture of grape nuts.
Yes,
the
yes,
Bacos.
yes,
The
yes,
Bacos
yes.
are
I
the
was
crunchy ones.
insane.
But
Yeah.
when we had
Okay.
bacon bits in like
have
restaurant
kind of like
jobs, it was a
the
little
fish
more.
food kind of container.
Yes.
Yep.
And you'd shake it on like a salad or
That
something.
was part of it too. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like eating fish food. And I don't know what it is. It's just something I've always been like, you wouldn't eat that. Like drinking blue Kool-Aid. Well, you can't drink Windex, but I can drink this blue Kool-Aid and pretend it's Windex.
It's like the opposite for me.
But I always wanted
You're like, this should not be in
Bacos.
my body.
I always wanted Bacos, and my grandma was like, they're not good for you, blah, blah. But I would put sunflower seeds on my salad instead and pretend they were Bacos, and now I just love to put sunflower seeds.
I love
But I,
good.
I always
with the
refer to
healthier
it.
option.
I always refer to it as bird seed, and Carl laughs at me, but like that's what I call it. It's like bird
It
seed.
kind of does look like
I
bird
want to put
seed.
bird seed on
I'm
mine.
pretty sure a bird would eat it.
I mean,
so it
I
is.
feel like the epitome of a salad bar is having sunflower seeds
Yes,
on
yeah.
it.
absolutely.
And cottage
That's
cheese.
when you know it's a fancy fucking
Yes,
salad
yeah.
bar.
Because when we go to Del Rey, I have to have my
fucking
salad
pizza
course,
Del
and I go
Rey.
get a plate instead of one of those little dinky bowls. I'm like, no, I need a plate of salad.
Mhm.
we should
do
do
my-
a podcast
my-
live from Pizza Del Rey.
We should.
I'm
I
in.
haven't been there since it reopened.
I
Oh, it's
haven't
great.
It's
done
better.
there.
Yeah.
They restored it to its full glory.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it went downhill towards the
Except
end.
for they did switch to Pepsi, so
That actually does make me sad.
but they have
Yeah,
Dr. Peppers.
yeah.
Oh, that works.
I can live with
I
that.
just don't understand that. I don't understand when you get rid of cherry Coke or cherry Pepsi and then Dr. Pepper. That's not like a substitute. That's its own thing.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't want the 27 flavors of Dr.
Well, no, I
Pepper.
love Dr. Pepper. But
I want a restaurant that's just like just doubles down on fucking RC Cola.
yeah.
Why doesn't
that's
that
called
happen?
my house.
It's
Thank you.
underrepresented.
But you know, not enough places do it.
No.
It's either
It
Coke
could
or
be a
Pepsi.
Shasta store.
Mhm.
We should
I
have
don't think I've ever
a
seen
party.
RC Cola on tap or like served.
There was one place in Green Bay that had it, and that's the only place I've ever seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to have a party where we like all the food and beverage that we have has to be like not
Off brand.
yeah.
I'm in.
Because
Sold.
I'm weird. Like when I go to a store out of town and I like to look at their generic mac and cheese, I'm like, we should buy a box and try it.
Yeah,
I want
see
to
how
get
it
so
is.
excited about.
It wasn't a restaurant either. I
Yeah,
want to say
there
it was
you
the
go.
Resch Center. I don't know if they still have it, but if it was definitely like an arena place.
Really?
So I think it was the Resch Center, and somehow they were sponsored where they had RC Cola.
I think a lot of
That's very
municipalities
interesting.
had
Look it up.
contracts with RC back in the day because they were probably cheaper,
Sure.
you know? Because I remember that a lot when I was a kid, and like even like the Labor Temple.
No
like,
kidding.
When Racine where I grew up, you know. But
So then you just order a cola?
well, you can RC Cola because they have RC and.
But how do you order it when you go up to
Well,
the
you-
counter? You say,
Say-
give me an RC? Or...
Yeah, give me RC. Yeah, me and my RC.
Interesting.
WLUK of Green Bay announces that the Resch Center complex now offers Pepsi and ending a 6-decade contract with 7-Up RC
Oh.
on September 1st of 2022. Is that
That was wild.
so? Just
So, like,
recently
just a
they
year
stopped
ago.
serving
No
RC.
bueno.
Sorry, 60 years?
6 decades. So yeah,
that's crazy.
so
But
they
I
had
think
7-Up
that's-
RC.
I think there was
Betrayal.
something big cheaper about it.
And what does RC stand for?
Royal
Royal
Crown.
Crown.
Royal Crown.
Bet you didn't expect me to have that ready for you, huh?
But he did
I didn't
expect me to have
three
it.
of you to have that. Like,
All I could think of was the booze.
Speaking of embarrassing parent stories,
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Jay does look like a big Dr. Pepper.
You might as well
right now.
throw one out at
That's
us, Jay.
great.
I mean, it seems like your time's up.
Yeah, well, I've got, I mean, it's not so much a story, this first part, but I mean, it's probably relatable. Did anyone have fathers that just stalked the house in tidy whities and nothing else?
Not my
Yes.
dad, but I knew dads like that. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was one of those.
Okay.
So.
my dad was also an underwear guy.
My mom was that person.
that's true. That's true.
Very
I feel
true.
like we talked about this weekend. but
Probably.
I don't remember who was talking about it.
I don't know.
Oh, I think it was one of the friends at the table at the wedding we were at.
Either way,
Sure.
do you have
Yeah.
any like fun specifics, or is it a general?
Just general, and I'd have friends over once in a while, and he would be unaware and come out, and a friend had been there for a long period of time, talking and making noise, and he would come out oblivious.
Now, did you follow in his footsteps? Are you a tidy whities around the house kind of guy?
No, I'm not. I'm more civilized than
I haven't worn tidy whities since middle school. First of
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Tidy whities is like, okay,
Yeah,
but
totally.
I still wear briefs. They're just not white.
see, I when I need like the extra floppy stoppy, then I
I always need the floppy stop because I stopped wearing boxers
Sure.
because I would get like not chafage, but something
Oh,
on like my
the
pee hole. And then
This beehole.
and then it would
I
feel
mean,
better. And I'd be
rub
like,
it
We
raw
heard
no
the
matter
story
what.
a little bit.
and I'd switch underwear and be like, oh, okay, I can't wear boxers or boxer briefs anymore. Like
Fair
boxer
enough.
briefs are okay, but
So,
I need the cuppage.
We have talked
Right.
about underwear because I think at this point I asked you if you try the new
Oh,
yeah,
boxer
that's
briefs that have the
right.
little like
Oh, the
cup in it
cup.
that you
the
set your
supportive
stuff in.
cup.
Do you think our like dads or moms, I suppose in that case, or my cousins used to also like? I don't know why. It just seemed like everyone just walked around in their underwear
Yeah.
more.
I still do.
I'm not
My
sure.
household is kind of the majority of us will
But do you
walk
think
around
people
in
really
underwear.
think about like that portion of themselves when they're just hanging around? I guess there probably is some amount of not being aware at all.
I can't. I don't know if it's that childhood trauma of watching my mom do that. I can't eat like even if I know I'm home alone, I
Were you
can't
gonna
leave
say
the.
I can't eat?
No, I was gonna say I can't even.
Okay.
Even when
like,
I'm
you
home
can't-
alone, I can't leave the bedroom until I put my shorts on. Like
Yeah,
I
think I'm the
need,
same.
I have to cover up. It's just so gross to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a modesty thing or just because your mom walked around like that all the time?
That's something for me and my therapist to unpack. And when we figure it out, I'll let you know.
That's a deep
I mean,
question.
because my dad was a tidy whities guy.
Sure.
My mom had pajama shorts that she wore a lot. Although her pajama shirt was pretty worn through for the most part.
Reminds me of your mom's shorts that she wore all the time.
They were like lacy, but not because they were supposed to be.
Oh, because they're old.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
There was a lot of friction.
But I do have to answer just for anyone out there that's wondering. So, yes, I'm boxers. But whenever I'm exercising or any scenario where you need to stop chafing and have the floppy stoppy, which we're now calling it, which I love, by the way, then I go to boxer briefs. But I can't do just tidy whities. I can't. I don't know.
This from the person who used to wear his Lucky Speedo to every forensics tournament.
True.
Oh, lucky Speedo.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was blue and had looked like water droplets.
Oh.
That
That
was
seems
the
like such a high
pattern.
school movie.
Do you still have the lucky Speedo?
Yes.
Excellent. You
Does
should
it
display
fit?
it.
Does it fit? No.
Yeah, it doesn't need to fit. You should just like it should be.
Oh, no,
its
no,
own
no.
little
It needs to
case.
fit, or your testicles say, fuck you.
No, she's saying if you're going to just put it in a case to display it, it doesn't need to fit you.
That's a
Yeah.
fair statement.
Yeah, you should display that.
I should.
Did it win you many forensics meets?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was really good for swim meets too. That's where it became lucky.
It became lucky. I think it became more lucky at the forensics meets.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So
That's fair.
I don't know if you're looking at me like you never realized that part of it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
That wasn't why I was looking at you.
Oh,
I was
fair
looking
enough.
at you like, hey, it's your turn now.
It is.
It is.
Lucky me.
Oh, I do have more of a story
Oh,
to
I'm
add
sorry.
as well. I embarrassed my parents.
Okay.
We were over at family friends. I was pretty young, probably kindergarten or shortly before. And we were getting ready to leave. I was ready. My shoes were on. It was an apartment building, like, multi-unit, like, 4 stories,
Mm-hmm.
dozens of apartments in there. My parents are kind of lingering, talking to their friends. I'm impatient. I'm standing out in the hall looking around, and I see something on the wall that I've never seen before, and it's intriguing. It's brightly colored, and I think it kind of looks like a slot machine. It looks like there's something you can pull on it.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, I give it a pull. It's the fire alarm.
Oh.
It's the fire alarm. So, the alarm starts blaring. People are scrambling out of their apartments. This old man goes rushing past me, almost trips over because he's like putting his boots on as he's like moving. Big fiasco. My parents grab me and get me out because, it's the fire alarm going. And we get outside and I say, I think I did that. They're like, why the fuck would you pull a fire alarm? I didn't know that would happen. I thought it looked like a slot machine to me for whatever reason. I had to go back and apologize to the, apartment manager or something. And my parents were not too pleased. It was very embarrassing for them.
I similarly did something when my mom worked in hospitals, and I pulled the cord in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I didn't know, right? That it would do
It's
that.
just asking to be pulled.
Right.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, I know that I can't, but I look at
You
it and I'm
want
like,
to.
I do. And it's the weirdest damn thing. It's like inappropriate child brain is still there going, pull it.
Well, that's the thing. In a hospital, it's like, I want to push buttons. I want to pull cords. Like, there's so much going on.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
My mom defends me for the weirdest things. Like, it's always like she has to, like, live my honor until the end. Like, anything I've done in my life is somehow grander than what you did.
I mean,
Like-
that's
Like the
nice.
baby.
She's proud of you.
I mean, it's really like, there'll be like a kid talking about sports and she'll be like, oh, well, Carl played amazing volleyball and da 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 da. Oh, Carl owns a suit. Like, it's really like, why?
Has your mom been tested for ADHD?
Well, so that's kind of, like, I start to wonder, I'm thinking a
It is
lifetime
genetic.
of potential depression. I mean, that's definitely there. But I think about that a lot because there's no other reason for any of it. Like,
We eat at a certain restaurant a lot, and when you get the hot turkey, it's like an open face sandwich that has gravy
yum.
all over it. Well, Carl would always flip the bread over so it was like a sandwich, and then he'd eat it like that. Not like a sandwich, but he'd cut it apart. Well, he did that, and then she didn't really notice when he did it, and she looks at it and looks at mine and she goes, well, how come Carl doesn't have gravy on top? Like, it's my fault. I'm like, because he flipped his over. Why are you mad at me?
So-
Did you take his gravy?
my youngest cousin had her first child
Gravy
probably,
snatcher.
I don't know, 8-10 years ago now. Like, it's been a while, but it was one of those moments where, as her first child's like growing and going through all these things, my mom had to go through my whole childhood and be like, well, at 3 Carl was doing this, and at 4 he was doing this, and da 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 da.
Like,
da.
everything Carl's cousin said, Judy had well, Carl did that, blah, 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 blah.
And I'm so bad at telling jokes because I always say the punchline. So even telling you the story, it's killing me because I just want to say it. And it honestly, the joy it brings Gary and Gary's
This
family.
is true. This is true.
Like, so just to sum it up, sometimes we just joke when she starts saying all this stuff. Carl was a baby. Because, like, I mean, why? Yeah, Ryan can do it better. Like,
Well, no, because the reason it started was because you came up to me after they'd been talking, and you're like, "Oh my god, my mom's driving me nuts." Everything Lauren says about the baby, mom was like, "Well, Carl was a baby." So then we were playing Mad Libs with Seth, and we were like, that was like funny phrase, and we're like, Carl was a baby. So that became.
So sometimes, like, we're here and Seth will just walk through the house and go, Carl was a baby.
It's true. It's to the point where my son is in on the joke. But to this day, like, I'll be out with Amanda and something will come up and, like, Amanda will turn to me, Carl was a baby.
Aw.
That's great.
It's probably, though, you're her one and only.
Yeah, it's a special thing. Mm-hmm. Once again, it's not Norma Bates kind of,
No.
or little Jimmy. It's not, oh, Jimmy. Oh. But no, it's, yeah.
No, it's something that's sweet, but sometimes it can be embarrassing to Carl, which is a fitting topic for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mom is not quite like that, but when I was younger, and it still doesn't bother me, but when I look back as an adult now, it's like my mom and I didn't really have normal mother-son boundaries because my stepdad would always get so like,
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was her only back then, and we were like besties.
When she was young, and like you grew up a little bit together.
Yes. But like, so at this point in time, we'd kind of had the discussion of like, well, you're getting older, so we're going to have to start knocking on doors and not just walking in because we don't want to see each other naked now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so about fourth grade, I'm laying in bed, and we had like a family thing to go to, and we were getting ready, but we weren't like in a hurry. We were just like, my mom was getting ready, and I was still laying in bed watching TV, but I was masturbating.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I used to use hand lotion, so like I had lotion on my hands, and I'm under my covers, and I'm just playing with my wang. And she comes in a towel, like wrapped around her, and one on her head, brushing her teeth, and she just sits down on my bed, and she's like, "So you're gonna get up and get ready pretty soon?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, what do you think you're gonna wear?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." I'm just kind of like, "Can you leave?" Because I have my dick in my hands, and you're like naked. And she's just like keeps talking, making small talk, and I'm like, "Mom, please go away." I'm just trying to be like, "Yeah, yep, nope, I'll be up in a couple minutes," because I wanted to finish.
And did you?
After she left,
Okay.
yes.
Did your mom know this story?
No.
Oh. I mean,
I could tell her now.
We share a lot with her.
Right.
Now that I'm older, and my middle brother Ben has like shared a lot of stuff with her that you wouldn't tell mom when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, well, now I feel left out, so I start telling my mom stuff like,
I'll turn the tables. I have embarrassed my own children terribly, horribly.
That is next on my list as well.
But my son embarrassed me so badly one time, and Gary has given me the encouragement to tell a story. I can't even make eye contact with any of you telling this story because it is so shameful.
Oh, wow.
It's horrible.
It's going to be a treat.
Yes.
Notice I'm already chuckling. I know it's coming. It's great.
It doesn't feel like I should be telling this, but I feel like it's just amongst friends,
the
right?
world
It's
needs
not like
to know.
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
not like the podcast audience will hear it.
Right. Oh God.
We're recording in November, but this feels like Christmas.
So, speaking of Christmas, it was around Christmas.
Oh,
And
delightful.
we were at Walmart, and my son was probably 2-3 years old, and we were like gone from home for quite some time. So obviously I had to go to the bathroom. And this is where I can't even look at anybody.
I will turn away.
All right, we're all not looking at
Block
Court.
J for me.
Yep.
So it was that time of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And being that we were gone all day, I had to take care of business. So I go to the bathroom in Walmart. Now, again, my son is like 2-3 years old. God help him. He was always really good at talking way too much at a young age. Like he I don't know. I wish he didn't have the vocabulary, but he did.
He did. Yeah.
So, you know what? You're a mother. You've used the handicap bathroom now because there's room enough for the two of you.
Mm-hmm. I can relate to that.
The focus is, Devin, please do not sit on the ground.
Yes.
That is gross. Just stand there. Just don't touch anything. Just stand there. And I'm trying to take care of what I'm taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, it has caught his attention, though I'm trying to say, turn around. Don't, just look away. My son looks at me and says, Mom, did you just pull that out of your butt? And the whole bathroom is busy because it's Christmas.
Oh, no.
And I'm hearing these ladies just start rolling. And he like continues, Mom, what was that? What is that? Devin, just turn around. And again, you can hear everybody just rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finished doing my thing. And then he's like, Mom, you're putting it back in there? And I'm like, Devin, shh. He's like, Mom, what is that? You're putting that back up your butt? I'm like, Devin, turn around. He's like, what is that? And he looks at me like just like so concerned. He's like, is that a tush cookie? And at that point, the whole bathroom just like, I'm like, oh my God, child.
You should not be embarrassed. I guarantee you made everyone stay in there.
I think I probably did.
You probably
And
did.
And probably a few people still call it a tush.
A tush cookie.
Did they know what it was, though?
Now, doesn't your family still refer to them as tush cookies on occasion?
Indeed.
Not all the time, but
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little
that's the
family
gift
friendly.
that keeps on giving.
Yes.
Right there. I like it.
Did you just pull that out of your butt?
Now, had he heard the phrase tush cookie in some
I don't know where
context?
tush cookie
Did
came
he just
from.
invented it?
He just
God, that
invented
kid.
it.
I love him so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My child came in after I birthed her younger brother and asked if came out of my butt.
Nice.
Right, because, I mean, of course she comes in and I'm on all of my glory where they're, sewing me back together, basically.
That far. Okay.
Do you want me to bleep kids' names or no?
I would appreciate
Yep.
that. Anyway, so yes, also thought like I was in mortal danger, obviously.
Of course.
But then, of course, the baby comes out of the butt because we have no concept of vagina, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
So.
I rarely think about them.
She, however, did not ask about my tush cookie.
Oh, that's
It's
unfortunate. If she cared at all, she would have asked.
My next story is child related, but it's me embarrassing my child. My eldest learned that if I was embarrassing and she said I was embarrassing, I just was more embarrassing. And I hoped that this behavior would teach her to like resilience, right? Like you be who you are. It doesn't matter what other people are thinking of you. It didn't yet. Maybe there's still time, I guess. So frequently I would be like dancing in the car, right? Like not actually dancing, but like driving along, listening to a song and bouncing around, and she'd be like, Mom, it's so embarrassing. Stop it. So one time we're leaving hockey practice. A lot of my stories are going to come from practice or hockey. And we're in Chippewa Falls. And there's this little back road that goes from the rink in Chippewa Falls, like up to this hill quick trip nearby. And we have 2 games usually a weekend. So I think we were leaving to go get a snack to like fuel up in some, I don't know, Gatorade or something at the quick trip. And I also needed gas. And we were listening to Baby Got Back.
Nice.
Right. Great song, great jam. Always gotta move, right? Gotta dance to that one.
Yeah.
And I'm dancing in the car, and I pull up to the gas pump, and I was like, "Here's my card. Go get what you want." And she's like, "Mom," and I was just like, "What? This?" And I turn it up louder, and she just slowly like recedes down into her seat while I'm just like, "But what you got, buns?" And I see next to us another mom enjoying the show, right? Like she knows what's happening.
Yeah.
The kid's shrinking in the seat next to me, like, "Oh my God, this is the worst day of my life," and I'm just like having a good old time. Anyway, she has moved past this. Now we can dance in the car together.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, she used to really hate that.
That's a good lesson in life. Like, you just have to have fun.
Yeah.
And I think we have to get over like that teenage like appearance thing.
Yeah, and really no one is thinking about you more than you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. I told my cousin's kid that because we were at a graduation party and she's like, "I want to go get food." I'm like, "We'll go get food." She goes, "I don't know. Everyone's going to stare at me." I'm like, "No one even no one's going to stare at you.
No
honey.
one cares about what you're doing."
Nobody cares about what you're doing."
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I get that you're 12 and everything happens because of you, but that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Carl was 12. Get you every time. Right?
It does.
Tush cookies.
Tush cookies. We should make that like an official cookie of the biscuit. Something not like the cookie, but
That'll be
you
a
know,
line of the Bronx Butler.
yes.
We can
Madame, your tush cookie.
we can go down to that bake shop in
yeah.
Madison and see if they have a tampon shaped cookie cutter.
Oh, or
Yeah.
you can make it like a date or prune cookie, so it actually helps you go number 2.
Oh.
Oh, tush
Tush
cookie.
cookie.
I like that.
Good marketing.
Yeah.
The proud smile on your face after you said that made me so happy.
Courtney and I do have quite the collection of cookie cutters, though.
Yes.
We do have penis-shaped cookie cutters.
In multiple sizes,
Mhm.
as well as Ryan.
There was one time I was pulling out my cookie cutters, and Courtney is like, "Is that a dreidel?" I'm like, "Damn right, it's a dreidel." And then there was another one, and I'm like, "This is the menorah." And she's like, "Why do you have so many like Hanukkah themed ones?" I'm like, "Because there was a discount Hanukkah pack during Christmas." Duh.
Right? Yeah.
I
that
saw
was-
a thing the other day that was like, it's like all the cookie cutters is one thing, and you just have to like roll out your stuff. And
Oh yeah.
And then there, all your cookies are cut.
Yeah, I've seen those too. My mom actually used to have one, but it made really small cookies. Someone probably gave
Little
it to her.
tush cookies. Jay, you got any more?
Yeah, I've got one of my child embarrassing me. I and it frankly being my fault. I primed it myself. She was probably about 2. I was still going to school and working kind of a part-time job, retail, and I would occasionally have to work outside, push carts. And I was watching the weather because I was going to have a cart shift, and it was winter, and it had been, I'm trying to remember, I think it had been decent weather for a bit when I'd been working inside and coming up on having to work outside, paying attention to the weather. And I see that the day that I'm going to be working outside, it's just going to be miserable, frigid temperatures followed by snow. And it's just such a pain in the ass to push carts through snow. I was not looking forward to it. I didn't realize she was in the room, and I see the forecast. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I hear from, off into the side, are you fucking kidding me? And she took to that phrase with gusto. She would repeat it over and over, and a lot of times like in proper context. Something wouldn't go as expected for her. Are you fucking kidding me? We'd go out to eat, and she dropped something from her high chair. Are you fucking kidding me? In front of servers, other guests. So we looked like the trashiest people ever. And that was quite a phase she went through. She did it for months.
Here's the ironic thing. The fact that she picked up on all the context and knew how to use it actually shows how smart she was.
It was kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Because she would use it in the proper context and with the emphasis, oh, are you fucking kidding me? It was just natural to her.
Carl
so
understands
it was
context.
Horrified and proud.
Oh, I had a similar situation with my sister and her son. We're driving around. He's 2. And I know that my sister swears in front of him, and she just assumed that he wasn't picking up on it. And we're driving around, and he goes, "Fucking birds." Here's the crazy thing is Seth was a couple years older than him, and I think that was the first time Seth heard fuck. I would, believe it or not, I was actually really good at not swearing in front of Seth,
Ooh,
which is
I'm
not
good at
anymore.
that.
no, not anymore. I got a mouth like a sailor, but yeah.
So who's got our next one?
My mom and I took this epic trip to Hawaii in 2022, and it was her dream trip. And so I did the whole travel agent thing, got it all set up, excursions and all this other stuff. So we're in Honolulu, and we end up going to Hard Rock Cafe, I don't know, a couple meals because this waiter was really, really cute, like the bartender. And I realized my mom is aiding in my thirst, like,
It's true.
and I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, because of course, like, I don't know. I think Ryan and I always dance around with our moms, like,
If my mom ever did the math, she would know that Carl and I are not monogamous.
right? Like,
When I talk about things that have happened, it's like, well, clearly that didn't happen before I was in college.
so I'm like, I'm having a snap session with someone in Hawaii some night while I'm there. And we had adjoining rooms, and I kept adjoining rooms because originally Ryan and his mom were supposed to come, but then she couldn't get really enough time off and whatever else. But I kept adjoining rooms because I'm like, I definitely want my privacy,
Yes.
which, yeah, it came in handy, right? But I'm seriously having this fun session via Snap, and all of a sudden my mom's like diabetes meter starts going off, and the guy was like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing."
It's my
It also happened in Maui too, so that's kind of funny. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this damn diabetes thing."
It's really cramping my style.
Yeah, but otherwise, it was such a great trip. I don't know. She just had a blast. I have a picture on my desk of her, like, in the shadow on, like, Waikiki. And, like, I don't know. There was so much great. And, like y'all said, I mean, she's just so young and vibrant in certain ways.
Yeah,
like,
I would never have guessed.
We did zip lining.
Really?
We did, like, this hike into this waterfall. And, you know, that's another point where she gets a little embarrassing. Oh, my gosh. This damn DePew knee. I am so sick of hearing about this special knee for this knee replacement, but it allows her to be functional. But everyone that is above a certain age that needs a knee replacement, she has to tell them which one to get.
She's like an unpaid spokesperson.
She is. And I'm like, I wish she was getting paid. You know, there's two older ladies on the bus. They were named Barbie and something. I don't know. I just love a 60-something-year-old woman named Barbie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
Were you friends with Barbie?
I became friends with Barbie.
Good.
Because these two old ladies were like, looking at my mom, and they're like, damn, like, she can, like, get around. And so, of course, she gets back out of the waterfall, and she's like, yeah, ladies, get your knees done.
Oh.
It's amazing.
No,
We're
it's
going
fun.
somewhere with that monogamy story, though. I feel like there was a whole thing your mom said to you that was why you brought the story up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, she's like, well, nothing could happen because Ryan would kill you.
That's not what you
What?
told me.
What did I say?
She said, I wouldn't say anything.
Oh, I wouldn't say anything.
Oh,
She's your wingman.
Yeah, totally. That
Mom's
was
the
hollow,
wingman.
though. Yeah.
Coming in clutch.
And Carl's like, you wouldn't have to because I showed her on all the pictures I got.
He was cute.
Talk all day about knee replacements, but never say a word about that.
Right? Well, it's so funny, too, because, like...
You know, Carl's seen a dick pic.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go next. I just invited
Okay.
myself to do that.
Well, yeah,
Good for you.
Yeah,
You know.
I support it.
we're always welcome.
Okay. So my story is about life just going full circle. So my mom and dad, apparently, I don't know, maybe they were a little feisty. I in hindsight, they were maybe a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Like voyeuristic. I can't say that word.
Voyeuristic.
Thank you.
Got it.
Oh yeah, I love that you know my words.
I would just describe them as saucy.
Okay, that'll
But-
do.
but
That'll
yeah.
do.
No. Voyeuristic is correct. But
Okay.
if we hadn't had this conversation before, based on where I'm pretty sure you're going, if you would have
Okay.
said describe them, I'd be like saucy.
Saucy.
Which is,
Yeah.
it's so, like,
Wow.
this opposite of where you started with that.
I know,
because,
right?
like, cheap and thrifty and sweet. Like, you
Yeah.
described your father as sweet.
I thought the majority of the ass pinches were coming from the toilet seat, not from the hubby.
Wow.
You know,
So
her
when,
dad's he's got a
Yeah.
saucy side.
when I was quite little, we would go up north
Mhm.
to Lake Superior, and we would.
Also, even, like, further up north than where you grew up. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were really
Way
north
up
there, right where they didn't even have a stop and go light. So we'd go up north to Bayfield, and we would go to the beaches, beautiful beaches. And I think I was too young to really know where everything was going. But damn, my parents, yes, they were getting. My dad would be like, "Hey, Courtney, you should go over there and and dig this big hole in the sand. And then it would be like, oh, Courtney, why don't you go stand behind that tree for a minute? And the next thing I know, my mom would be like burying my dad in the sand. That son of a bitch was naked every damn time. I was doing the grunt work for my parents' sexual.
So they were more like nudists, not voyeurs.
I don't know. I was told to disappear a lot. I was digging holes. It was Courtney, go check on the something, and then the next, but just the idea that they had their child dig their fucking holes so they could be naked.
It probably would be like, I need enough energy to get it on. Please go dig
Well, they
the
weren't
hole.
getting it on the hole.
No,
right?
they were
No.
not.
Just getting buried.
No.
No, it was
It's
more
of an exhibitionist.
Yeah.
than
Okay.
a
well,
voyeuristic.
right.
Yeah, there we
yep,
go.
Yep,
There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
And I mean, I heard the story straight from your dad later, and it was more the way he put it. At least was he was okay getting buried, but he didn't want to get sand in his shorts.
yeah, that's what they all say.
That's right. Exactly. Right.
It is what they all
It's
say.
like them saying that they're separated,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
but they're actually
So-
still married.
As the story does go full circle,
Mhm.
I know. But anyways, my parents, as I got older, they would go up to Bayfield. They bought a house there. They'd go up to Bayfield, and then they'd come back. And I had to work weekends, so I'd be staying at home. And I know I shared this story with Ryan and Gary, but it'd be late at night, and you could see, because like their house is on one side of the road, and their garage is across the street. So
It's a little different of a setup, but
It
it works
is.
for how that house is laid out
Yeah.
because you're so close to your neighbors. You couldn't have the garage next door.
Yeah.
right,
It's
so
like a lot that lake places.
yeah. So the living room has this patio window that you could see the garage like perfectly. Well, because it's dark out, I can see the light of the garage like turning on and off. And the door is like going up a foot, down a foot, up 2 feet, down 2 feet. And it's just going up and down and up and down. And like the lights are just flashing because it's like shooting that like blocked it, you know how it will do that. But anyways, I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Turns out my father liked to drive home naked. And he would get home, and as he was getting dressed, my mom would fuck with the door, the garage door opener, so that the neighbors would see his. So it's them trying. She'd open the garage door, he'd close the garage door, and that's why it kept going up and down and up and down and up and down. Yeah, I'm watching this shit as a teenager.
So he would drive home naked
But you
all the
would
way
know
from
the wiser.
Bayfield?
Yeah,
Correct.
to Rice Lake
It just sounds like fun.
when it was dark out. Yeah.
I think it's just, the thrill. It's totally an exhibitionist type thing.
I mean, that's a lonely road at night. I mean,
You got to keep yourself company with your wang
it's
out.
pretty. I mean, it's pretty sparse during the day, to be totally honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, unless there's special things going on, but
Well, apparently there were special
things going on.
No, apparently your dad made it special for himself.
That's
I
true.
guess.
Yeah.
But why involve everybody else?
I mean, I don't know that he was trying.
didn't.
Obviously, if he was trying
didn't.
to shut
It
the
was
door,
it was
I think your mom was trying to revive
involve
other
everyone
people, and he
else.
was like, "No, thank you."
Yeah,
That was weird.
your mom is twisted.
Tiffany and
She's
Gary
the
were
one that
saying
made
the
you
same
dig the
thing at the
hole.
same time. And it was just like, whoa.
Right?
We do that.
So as I say, things go full circle. So as I'm like, I'm never going to put my children through anything stupid like that. So one day, as I am now a married person, probably the same age as what they were, my stepchildren, who were almost teenagers at the time, got this new trampoline for Christmas from my parents. So our house, we have like a hobby farm, and in the center of our driveway, which is like a figure 8, there's like this big street light kind of thing, and we put the trampoline underneath that. Well, the kids were in bed. We thought they were sleeping, so Lyle and I were like, trampoline. I want you guys to picture me skinny, by the way. Please don't think like this. So, we were kind of like, yeah, this is a trampoline. Well, a while later, our children set us down at the dining room table, and we're like, just so you know, we saw that shit. Because we were under the yard light, and that was our trampoline.
Oopsie doodle. Did they jump on it ever again?
None of us did. But the idea that
Man,
they
you must have done something right.
They sat us down and had like a family meeting. Like, we just want you to know.
Oh, it
we
wasn't a
saw
meeting. It
that.
was an intervention.
So like that was our Christmas present, and it's ruined.
You've tainted it now.
And we saw shit that should
we're
never
never gonna unsee.
No,
No,
Oh, see?
so that's it.
that's okay. It happens.
Mhm.
Is there anyone in this room that hasn't like accidentally seen a little more of their parents?
I
than
saw
they
my
want
parents
to?
fully doing it, and it was horrifying. My mom was wearing this like.
No, continue. I'm just godding, but it's fun.
Please tell me more.
She
This isn't my aunt. Keep going.
It is my aunt. So, I mean, you know.
She was wearing this like it was. I don't know what it was. It was buttoned down. It wasn't a muumuu, but it was something. And all I know is it was sheer, but it wasn't supposed to be. So you could, it was just old, so you could see through it. And my dad was just dialing it in. He was it was like he was turning the knobs in the missionary. And I'm like, oh, but he was so like vigorous, like turning them. Turning them. Tiffany.
No, thank you. I feel like maybe this is time for you to sit your dad down and have an intervention space. That is not how that should happen.
Well, they're not doing it anymore, so it's
Right.
Fair enough.
But just for any future dials, he try to turn.
He may come in contact with.
fair enough.
See, my thing was like, I haven't seen my mom naked since I was young, and like we would like see your mom naked because you were like 3.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like, which
And
I feel
that's
like,
the way it should be.
which I feel like my stepdad still thought that was weird.
Oh,
It's like,
no,
oh,
see,
no, you're naked around your.
the minute I asked questions about my dad's parts was the last
Right.
minute that I
Right.
was able to shower with my
I think-
parents. Or
My mom is a little too free in certain times.
I did see Carl's mom's boob
Yeah.
like not that long ago when I was like,
Yeah.
her like the bedroom she sleeps in is kind of just this like alcove off the living room with a curtain.
mm-hmm.
And she was in there, and I was in the living room, and I turned my head right when it was like, and just the spacing was just right. That the curtain gap was like right where her boob was. So it's like, oh, I just saw Judy's boob.
That'd be a good band name, Judy's Boob.
Yeah.
So, Jay, I hear you got one that you're going to lay on us.
I do. I was with my daughter at Kmart, R.I.P.
Ooh, this is a while ago.
Oh,
Yeah, she was young. She was old enough that she was self-propelled, but like still get her out of the car seat and carry her in.
I'm sorry, that's just a brilliant way to refer to it. Because I get what you mean. I totally do. Like, they're mobile by themselves. They don't need but they're self-propelled.
Like,
I love the way you put that.
Outboard motor or like mower. Okay.
But it's brilliant.
Okay, Dad.
Well, so I was gonna assist her in, and I'm getting her out of the car, and we're heading into the store, and there was a truck parked a few spaces away from us, and I think I might have had her up, so she was looking like back toward the vehicle as we were walking toward the store, and I think it was a nice day. It must have been because the windows were down, and he must have heard it. But she starts kind of in like a panicky voice, like, his teeth. Look at his teeth. Daddy, look at his teeth. I turn around, there's this unfortunate looking guy in this truck with
That's such a great adjective.
Self-propelled.
I want to play Mad Libs with you so badly.
he's got really poor dentation. Like kind of like the original Nosferatu.
My friend would call those roast beef teeth.
Oh.
Because there was a lady like that at like the cafe court in the mall, and he was like, yeah, and like I just looked over and she looked at me and smiled, and I was like, oh, she's eating this big roast beef sandwich with these giant teeth. It was like, oh, those roast beef teeth.
Yeah, it might have been her spouse. I don't know. And so she's just losing her mind about her teeth, and I think it was possibly made worse because it was probably maybe kind of around the age where like trying to get her to like focus on like, okay, you're going to brush your teeth, and making it more of a routine. So maybe that made it more horrifying, but she was loudly exclaiming about his teeth. His windows were open and he probably heard it. So that, again, that's one of those where I'm shushing her as we're going into the store. It was embarrassing.
Darn kids.
I feel like my son and your daughter should be like tush cookies and edentulous situations.
They could be friends.
Yeah.
They should be friends. That would be nice.
I'm going to be honest, Court. I had no idea. Like, much like Carl's mom's age, I thought your son was an adult.
Oh.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
So when he recently had a milestone birthday
Yeah.
in the teen years, I was shocked.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought early 20s probably.
Really?
Yes.
well,
Like, was he went out to the bar
First of
after
all,
music in the party?
he's a really responsible kid. So that if and when you talk to him, you'd think he's a lot
Yes.
older.
Yeah.
But then the things that come from probably from your dad were like, he's like, I'm just going to make jelly today. Not a lot of teens do that,
Yeah.
which I mean, I personally
should.
love because I
Yeah,
mean, we're going to
more
have a
should.
jelly weekend. Is it this next weekend that we're having jelly weekend?
We can do whatever we want.
Because it's America.
It's America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, I'm on to her. That's what she says when she's indecisive and she doesn't want to be the one to make the decision.
Nice.
Oh, well, you're figuring each other out. That's really good.
Yeah.
After being cousins for like 40 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It took a while.
It's about time.
But anyway, we'll break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. It's time to break down our biscuit basket, baby. So, this is, for all those not familiar, our section where we talk about, I don't know why I said it.
It was like the,
That was very weird.
You said it.
It's like you wanted to say section, but then you didn't want to.
But you were singing "I love the nightlife. I like to boogie." You were
Yeah.
getting some
There you-
action.
Well, anyway, it's the section of the pod where we go over things that will either bring us joy, which would be a buttered biscuit, or things that are just pissing us off, and that would be our burnt biscuit. So with that, does anybody have any good ones?
I have a burnt biscuit that became a buttered biscuit.
Ooh, those are my favorite.
It was buttered and then burned and then buttered again.
All right.
So I was having a really good day at work today, and I only had to do 2 houses, and the first house got done really easily and was great, even though that one had the more difficult windows to clean. And then I'm at the second house, and I'm cruising along, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna be done by like 3. And then I broke a window screen, which happens, and that's part of our job. Is like sometimes you poke a hole through a screen, and you just take it with you, and then we get it fixed, and then we bring it back. But because that happened, it was in a screen door, and it was the kind where like there's double hung windows, and like the screen got thing, and I called, and my boss was like, well, just take the screen out and then take it with you when you go and drop it off at the office, and we'll take care of it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm trying to do that, but these windows are so confusing, and I get those, like, I get it so like weird and wedged, and I'm like, I can't even get the window to go down again. So I call her back, and I'm like, I can't get the screen out because I can't get the windows out. I don't know what I'm doing. She's like, well, call Jeremy because, maybe he'll be able to walk you through it. Well, I call him, and I'm trying to explain it, and he's like, well, I'm done, so I'll just come over, and I'll help. So he was, I think he was having dinner, or like he got done and was eating in Rice Lake, so he drove over, so it was about an hour. But I still had a lot of windows to do, so it was fine. When he got there, I had about 6 windows left, which sounds like a lot, but it was like 3 and 3. They were really right. He gets there, and I don't know what he did. He like barely touched it, and he was like, okay, I fixed it. And now we just do this, and we pop the screen out this way, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God. So I felt a lot better, because I'm thinking I broke their whole door, and I'm going to have to like, we're insured, so I think work would pay for it, but it's still like, I feel like an idiot. I broke their door, but no, I just poked a hole in their screen. Anyway, so that's my biscuit.
Well, thank you for sharing.
I think I got like a set of buttered biscuits.
Oh, full set.
Well, yeah.
Is it a baker's dozen?
Well, I think, we were talking about our days today because that's what you do as couples, and I think today was just like a good adult day. Like, I got a few phone calls I wanted to make, and I took care of myself, like, just different, like, prescriptions and bank stuff and all that other stuff. Like, I was on top of everything I knew I wanted to get done today, and I got it done. Like there's no, oops, I didn't get that done today. And it's just such a good feeling.
Yeah.
The other one is like, I love fall, autumn for a lot of reasons. Like I like not just sweating to death during the summer.
Mhm.
I like no mosquitoes. Like there's certain things that are just wonderful in Wisconsin during the fall. Obviously the foliage and all the other stuff. But I realized that it's like the world slows down a little bit too for everyone. I mean, there's certain things that are busier because obviously people are back in school and everything, but just the weekends just have felt so like, even though if they're busy, they're so easygoing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't think you're like running out of something. I mean, yeah, we're all like, oh, winter's coming, but like
You're running out of daylight.
yeah, but you know, the last few weeks we've gone down to a theater show in Milwaukee, and we've went to a wedding this past weekend,
Mhm.
and next weekend we're going down to a theater show, and then it's Thanksgiving, and it's just, I don't know, I enjoy the seeing so many different people and having those moments, and it just seems like there's just a joy. There's not a what's next kind of mentality. It's just you're there. So that's my biscuits.
Them's be good biscuits, man.
Yeah.
Courtney,
really
you got
do.
some biscuits for us?
Every time I come over in this direction, I get a little bit of a burnt biscuit. And maybe it's because I'm a small town girl in a big city, in my opinion. But I cannot handle this whole length of streets by Gary's house with no fucking stop signs. What the hell is that about?
It's called an uncontrolled intersection.
Yeah, it's chaos.
It needs control.
I agree. It does need some control.
Everybody's just willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. I don't know what the social
you need to
graces
drive down
are
by the
about it.
planets.
Oh yeah,
That's like
It's wild.
uncontrolled intersection mania.
every day.
What was like the city of Eau Claire too like lazy to just put
Well,
in a stop sign?
I'll tell you, in the planets we've had like surveys, and none of us
want them
because
Really?
because
So-
we're all cautious because they're there, and I'm like, what if they put one there and then we forget and people are just gonna blow them and crash, and like, I'd rather
Yeah.
not. We're all good with our uncontrolled intersections because we go.
Honestly, I'm
Good.
used to it. It's just, you just picture every way as a yield.
Yeah,
That's essentially what it is.
yeah.
But yet I see nobody slowing down.
Well,
There's no yielding happening.
There's that daycare right by our house on the corner there.
Oh, with no stop sign by a daycare?
Yeah, it's
Oh
on the
my
corner.
God.
And so this Audi SUV almost smashed into me this morning when I was leaving for work, and I was just like, "Are they like why they sped? Like, do you sped to a corner? Like that just was very like how fast?
Yeah, you don't
were coming?
accelerate into a corner. That's just crazy.
And
talk.
like I've just had to go to work early all week because we're doing all this training stuff. But I'm like, it is 6:40 in the morning. Like why? Like that person's obviously late for work, but like you're definitely endangering people.
The whole thing.
Oh yeah, if you the bypass in the morning, like it's chaos. Yeah. And during the winter, we don't even drive on the bypass for work. Like you take the side roads.
No,
Yep.
I try to
But I'll
avoid
tell you
that.
right now-
It's crazy.
when this girl comes into the city, you take her to get a bubble tea and she'll forget all her troubles. just go on and on about how great the big city is.
The big city.
So we're throwing a new batch in the oven for you then. You
Yeah.
know? Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
I get it though. I'm so used to it. It doesn't faze me. And I think the point of it forces everyone to slow down. I mean, yeah, as long as everybody follows the rules,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And for maybe somebody listening that's not understanding what we're talking about. So you have like a grid line of streets and everybody's just running rampant. They're just,
There's no stop signs at all.
there's nothing controlling anything. People are just scissoring their vehicles at every stop, or no, there is no stop sign, at every intersection.
Mhm.
Like,
Now, what's your take? And this is really what's your take on the roundabouts?
Oh, I was dying to ask that.
I'm cool though.
Really?
Interesting.
Well, unless.
You know, it's the same goddamn concept. The
No,
first
it's
person there just
not.
goes and everybody else yields.
She doesn't have a choice in race.
But you have to slow down for a roundabout. This, you just go willy-nilly, just freeballing it through.
That is not what they taught us in driver's ed. You tap your brake.
They never even taught me that in driver's ed because we didn't have those.
You're beyond the pale. I've got a biscuit. I got to go back a little bit. Buttered biscuit. We went on vacation this summer, Went up north, a little place on a lake, and it just happened to be near the peak of the meteor shower. I can't recall, like the Parasides or something like that. So we saw some meteors, and some of them were just extraordinary. Like light up the whole sky, like awe-inducing meteors.
That's
so
amazing.
that was very cool.
That makes me happy.
I like it.
I love meteors. I love everything astronomy.
Yeah, same.
So that's really cool. All right. Well, with that, I think we're done for today. But we will catch you next time. Say goodbye, everyone.
See you later,
Goodbye.
alligator.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, goodbye, everyone. I missed the memo.
I did too.
Thank you for listening to Wicker Biscuit, a Podcast Ahoy production. The producers of Wicker Biscuit are Ryan LeMay, Gary Putnam, and Courtney Holub. Executive producer is Gary Putnam. Recording and editing was done by Gary Putnam. Check out our social media for updates on upcoming pods and for clips and other media referenced in this episode. Because sharing is caring, the links can be found in the episode note. Check it out! Thanks again from everyone at the Wicker Biscuit family.